When everyone leaves and the world goes quiet, it feels like punishment, but it's not. It's the moment Allah begins to teach you through silence. Loneliness becomes His language, and emptiness becomes His message, because when the noise fades, the truth finally has room to speak. Maybe this isolation isn't the end of something. Maybe it's the start of becoming. Allah doesn't distance you to hurt you. He distances you to return you. Every quiet night, every unanswered prayer, every ache you hide, all of it is Him calling you to listen, not with your ears, but with your soul. Lesson 1. Detachment. Allah isolates you so you can see what you were depending on. The people you thought were permanent start to fade, and the places you felt safe no longer feel the same. It's not rejection, it's redirection. He removes what distracts you so you can finally face what defines you. In the silence, you learn that not every comfort is a cure, and not every presence is peace. Loneliness exposes what attachments blinded you from seeing. You start to notice how often your happiness was borrowed, tied to messages, validation, attention. One by one, those illusions fall away. What's left is raw, uncomfortable, but real. That's where growth begins, when the noise of others no longer decides your worth. Because detachment isn't about losing people, it's about losing illusions. It's the moment Allah teaches you to stand alone, not in pride, but in purity. To depend not on the fragile hands of this world, but on the one who never lets go. When you stop chasing connection from creation, you start finding strength in the Creator. Lesson 2. Reflection. In the quiet, the noise inside you grows louder. Every regret, every memory you buried under distractions starts to surface. This is not punishment, it's revelation. Allah removes the world from your sight so you can finally see yourself. He makes you sit in silence, not to hurt you, but to help you hear the truth you've been running from. Loneliness is the mirror of the soul. It shows you the patterns. How many times you chased what was temporary, how often you ignored what was eternal. When there's no one left to impress, you start facing what you truly are. The silence stops being empty. It becomes sacred, a space where you begin to understand your own heart again. Because reflection is mercy in disguise, Allah doesn't expose you to shame you. He exposes you to heal you. Through the stillness, you start to remember that every flaw, every failure, every tear was part of your becoming. And maybe the version of you that emerges from this silence will finally be the one you were meant to meet. Lesson 3. Surrender. When everything you tried starts to fail, and every door you knock on stays closed, it's not because Allah has forgotten you, it's because He's guiding you toward surrender. The kind of surrender that isn't weakness, but wisdom. You stop fighting what's already written and start flowing with what's meant. In that moment, faith stops being theory, it becomes breath. True surrender begins when why turns into I trust you. When you no longer ask for the path to be easy, but for your heart to be steady. Allah takes away your control, not to punish you, but to free you from the illusion that you ever had it. You realize that peace doesn't come from knowing the plan, it comes from knowing the planner. And in that quiet surrender, you finally rest. You stop begging for outcomes and start praying for alignment. The storm outside doesn't disappear, but inside, you become still. Because once your heart bows completely to Him, nothing in this world can break it again. Lesson 4. Strength. Pain is not the enemy, comfort is. Because comfort keeps you asleep, while pain wakes your soul up. When Allah allows heartbreak, loss, or silence, it's not cruelty, it's training. He's not trying to destroy you, but to strip away what keeps you weak. Loneliness becomes the forge, and every hardship, the fire that shapes your endurance. Strength in faith isn't loud. It's not found in shouting hope or pretending everything's fine. It's the quiet ability to breathe through chaos, to smile while the heart trembles, to whisper, Alhamdulillah, even when nothing makes sense. That's real strength, the kind that can't be faked, because it's built in private, in the dark, where only Allah sees. Every tear you shed alone, every night you thought you wouldn't survive, became part of your spiritual muscle. You may not notice it now, but you've been growing through every ache. And one day, you'll look back and realize the moments that broke you were the same moments that built you. Lesson 5. Purpose. Sometimes, Allah removes everyone from your path because your next chapter can't include them. What feels like loss is often alignment. The isolation you're in isn't random, it's precision. Every goodbye, every closed door, every sudden silence is a sign that you're being positioned, not punished. We often beg Allah to use us for a greater purpose, yet we resist the emptiness that prepares us for it. Purpose requires pruning. It demands solitude, patience, and a kind of faith that doesn't crumble when nothing makes sense. You're not being delayed, you're being developed. The silence around you is proof that something sacred is being built within you. Because divine purpose rarely arrives with applause, it grows quietly, in the same loneliness you once cursed. And when the time comes, you'll understand why Allah had to take some people away, why He made you walk alone, and why it had to hurt, so your calling could sound louder than your comfort. Lesson 6. Presence. At the end of loneliness, something shifts. You stop asking for company and start feeling a peace you can't explain. It's the realization that even in your darkest moments, you were never truly alone. The silence you feared was never empty. It was filled with His presence, waiting for you to notice. Every breath you took in pain, every tear that fell unseen, was witnessed. Allah was there, not speaking through noise, but through stillness. He doesn't need words to comfort you. His nearness is enough. In loneliness, you finally meet the one who never leaves, the one who held you when no one else could. And once you feel that presence, the fear of being alone disappears forever, because you realize solitude with Allah is not isolation, it's connection. The kind that heals what people broke and fills what the world could never give. In that quiet space between heartbreak and surrender, you find Him, and that is everything. Maybe loneliness was never meant to break you, maybe it was meant to bring you home. Every ache, every silence, every unanswered prayer was part of a quiet conversation between your soul and its Creator. Allah doesn't abandon, He rearranges. He takes the noise away so you can finally hear His whisper, I am here, even when the world is not. If you're walking through a dark season right now, don't rush to escape it. Sit in it. Let it teach you, because pain is often the door that opens to purpose. Let the silence soften your ego. Let the waiting cleanse your heart, and let the stillness remind you, not every emptiness is absence. Some are invitations. Healing doesn't always happen when things get better. Sometimes it happens when you finally stop fighting what is, when you stop trying to control the storm and instead stand still enough to feel the rain. That's where peace begins, not in the end of suffering, but in understanding its meaning. If these words found you in your quiet place, write this in the comments as your declaration. I'm learning through my loneliness. Because healing begins with awareness, and awareness begins with honesty. Share this message with someone who's walking the same road. Maybe your small act of sharing becomes the light in someone else's darkness.